Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello. So somebody can respond to me whether you can hear me or not. Okay, clear.
Clear.
Okay. Okay, so we continue with chapter 3. Last week, we learned about the operation. Okay, so we stop at. Okay, I just refresh your memory. So for chapter 3 operation, you have arithmetic and Boolean. And for arithmetic, okay, for arithmetic, you have two types, either metric and array. So array, we have learned last week. Array is, metric. We have learned metric last week. So basically just normal metric operation you have learned in your previous learning. Now today we will talk about the array operation. So array operation, basically you just have to put dot. So metric operation and array operation are quite different. So make sure you know the difference. Okay. Metric operation is the standard metric calculation. Array operation is more towards the array, okay, array calculation. Okay, I will show you later. But last time I showed that you are both about both mass, right? Bracket, power of, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and okay, this one. So make sure you also have to know the transpose. This one, the transpose. Where is this one? Okay, this one, transpose. Okay, so transpose is at the top and the colon is at the bottom. So colon, you remember, if you put 1 colon 3, the result will be 1 until 1 to 3. You will create an array from 1 until 3. So for transpose, make sure you also know the difference between metric and array. Okay, this one I will show you later. What is the difference between metric and what is the difference between array? Okay, so we continue with array operation today. And after that, we will learn about Boolean. Okay, so today arithmetic part 2 and Boolean, which is the second one. Okay, so this is metric. You already learned about this. Okay, make sure to memorize this. Okay, the both mass C. Okay, so both mass is the standard you learned before, and then you have to put transpose, and then you have to put colon at the end. Okay, so make sure you memorize this precedence. Always do the following: left side first and then right side. Okay, but if you have the same precedence, make sure you do the left side to right side. Okay, now we move on to array operation. Okay, let me silence my phone first. Okay, so array operation. So the difference you need to know is that it has dot. Okay, so this is metric operation. Okay, without dot. Okay, array operation with dot. Okay, so make sure you know the difference. But if you have Scala, okay, you can see here. Let me bring down the pen. Okay, so you can see here, this is Scala, this is Scala, Scala, and Scala. So this is a vector or array, depend on you. So anything, okay, with a Scala, okay, Scala and non-Scala, okay, when you add it, either you can use array or metric, the answer will be the same. Okay, anything that is using Scala with the non-Scala, either you have multiplication or subtraction, okay, automatically is the same, whether it is metric, arithmetic, metric operation or array operation. Okay, so make sure you know this. Okay, the first rule. Okay, you can try this in your MATLAB. It will show the same answer. Okay, so show the same answer. So that is the first thing you need to know. Next is the scalar operation itself. So you can see here, when it comes to metric operation before, okay, if you have, remember, 1 multiplied by 2 metric, you need to multiply with 2 multiplied by something, for example, 3. So your metric needs to be, the middle size needs to be the same, and the output will become 1 multiplied by 3. This is for metric. But for array operation which has dot, okay, the size needs to be the same. So if you have the A is, for this case, is 1 multiplied by 4, okay, the second one needs to be 1 multiplied by 4 also. So if you do this, and how to do this, okay, you need to know how to write this in MATLAB, and of course you need to do it manually to answer the exam or test. So let me show you how to do this in the MATLAB first. Okay, so you can just copy this, no problem. Okay, you set A and B, so you can see here. Okay, if you want to see the metric itself, you just remove the semicolon at the end. Okay, so copy. Okay, you can see here, this is a vector, horizontal vector or row vector. Okay, so you can see here, C is equals to A dot B. A dot star B means that the multiplication in the array operation. So you can see you get the answer. So make sure don't forget the dot if you want to do an array operation. So how this is done is manually. Okay, so let me show you how to do this manually. Make sure you know how to do the encoding and as well as in the manual way. Okay, so okay, so when you want to do this manually, you make sure you write it all 2, 4, 5, 6 and multiply 2, 1, 2, 1. So how to solve this? Basically, you just multiply this one to this one to this one. Okay, no need to plus, you just multiply for each location. So this one to this one and this one to this one. So basically 2 multiplied by 2 plus 4 multiplied by 1 plus 5 multiplied by 2. Oh, sorry, not plus. Plus is for metric operation. But for this case, you don't need to plus. So 6, 1. Okay. So the answer will be 4, 4, 10, 6. Okay. So that is the difference between array operation and metric operation. Okay. So, okay, this one complete. And for this one, you cannot do this. Okay. So why? Because if you see here, okay, so A is equals to 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So A bar is, transpose A is equals to 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So remember, C is equals to A dot multiply A transpose. So remember that array operation needs to have same size. So for this case, it doesn't have same size. So this is 1 multiplied by 4. This is 4 multiplied by 1. If you do metric operation, yes, you can do it. But if you use array operation, you cannot do it. Okay. So vectorizing component interest. Okay. So this is another example with data in MATLAB constructed as array. A formula can be evaluated for a large set of value at once. This is called vectorizing. In vectorizing, you have element. Okay. So for this case, you have to understand the formula. So you can see here B is equals to A plus in bracket 1 plus R close bracket N. N is the number of year, R is the rate interest, A is the invested money, B is the final balance. So basically you want to know what is the final balance if you invest some amount of money. So you have to understand the problem first. You don't need to memorize this formula. Okay, this will be given. You need to understand how to do this in the MATLAB. So if you have A is equals to 100 and B is equals to this one, it is easy to calculate, right? You just have one value for each one. But how about if you have multiple A? Okay, multiple A, and you want to see the answer quickly. So to get the answer quickly, you need to do multiple time. But you can avoid that. Okay, avoid that calculation if you use vectorizing. Okay, so let us look here. So make sure you're clear the workspace and this one. Okay, if not, it can become problem. So you can see here R and N is constant. So let me change this first. So R and N, okay, is constant. Okay, and of course A is also constant. Okay, you can see here the value is only 1. So to calculate this, it is easy. Okay, you just use the formula. Okay, so you get the answer. Okay, because A is only one value. But if you have multiple A value, okay, you can either write A2 is equals to, for example, 200. Okay, and then you have to write again. So B2 is equals to, okay, so something like this. And then you get the second one and third one and so on. So it's quite difficult to do this manually. So to avoid this, we just put it as a, okay, we put A2 as a vector, something like this. Make it as array. You want to find 100, 200, 500, 1,000, and 4,000. The A is changes. Okay, and then you use the formula directly. Okay. So you get the answer. Okay. So for those who you still don't understand this, okay. So you can see here. Don't forget to multiply. This means that you have to multiply by 1,000. So each answer you have here, you need to multiply by 1,000. Okay, be careful with this. If the output is E, okay, make sure you multiply with the E. Okay, let us look. Okay, if you see here, okay, this is the answer. Okay, so make sure you understand E is just the E plus 3 is kilo. Okay, so and so on. Okay, so make sure you understand how to vectorize some problem. Okay, if you have an equation, something like here, okay, you have multiple value for one of the parameter, you can just make it as a array, okay, or vector, okay, and you will get the answer. So this is a simple way how to do vectorizing. But the problem is becomes more complicated if you have multiple value. Okay, so for this case, I think, okay, let us check there. Okay, you have two value. So the problem is two value. Okay, if you have two value changing, okay, you need to use array operation. Okay, That's why array operation is important. So metric operation is for metric, okay, metric calculation. But array operation is usually when you have multiple value changing. So let us look at the second example, vertical displacement. This is phasing. Okay, try to recall. I think you already learned this before. No need to worry, this one will be given. You only need to know how to do the programming. So you can see here, if a stone throw vertically upward is vertical displacement S. Okay, S is the vertical displacement. Okay, and the time, this is the time. G is the gravity. Okay, the constant, it is a constant, but time is changing. Okay, and divide by 2. Okay, so G, you have G and you have T. So for this case, you can see here, T is changing. Okay, other component is still not changing. So for this case, okay, you have to make sure that all the value of T needs to be multiplied. That's why you have to put dot. Okay, before this, no need to worry because all of the component is scalar. Okay, so this one is scalar. Okay, so this is a scalar parameter. Remember, when it is scalar, you don't need to worry. Okay, remember this. Okay, when you scalar multiply with non-scalar, no need to worry about dot, whether you put dot or not. Okay, but the problem is for the second problem here, vertical displacement. Okay, so this one is not scalar and non-scalar, so you have to use dot. Okay, the same way as before, you have to insert the variable first. So for this case, let me clear this first. Okay, so first you have to insert the constant and of course the variable parameter. So 0 to 5 means that it will create an array from 0 until 5, a vector, okay, a vector 0 until 5. So you just insert the formula, okay, recall back the formula here. So the formula is S equals to G, and don't forget multiply, you have to put this T. And you cannot just use power. Okay, let us look if what happens if you use power directly. Okay, see, you cannot do this because you have to power, okay, power each value inside here. So to do this, okay, you have to put dot. Okay, so then you get the answer. So basically you already calculate for the time change. So that is a function of array operation. So this one is the two parameter changes. Okay, so volume of cone. Okay, this is the volume of cone. Okay, how to calculate volume of cone? 1 divided by 12 pi. D is the diameter. H is the height. Okay, so okay, let me turn off this first. Okay, so if you use other programming language, okay, you have to do this. Okay, for n is equals to 1 until 5. Okay, and you have to do something like this. Okay, because you have two variable, okay, d and hash changing. Okay, you have d and hash changing, so you have to do for loop. So this one is for chapter 4. But for MATLAB, the advantage of using MATLAB, it has a array operation. Because of the array operation, instead of using for, which is a what you call, yeah, a loop, okay, which is computative, okay, can be computative burden, okay, computative burden, okay, it can be quite slow, okay, if you do this, okay. To avoid that, MATLAB has the array operation, so you can just put the diameter and height for each calculation that you want, okay. So let us look here. So you can see here for the first one, you just want to find the diameter of 1 and height of 2. and then the diameter of 0.5 and the height of 4 and so on. Okay. So instead of doing one by one, you just list down the parameter. Okay. Okay, let me just copy this. So of course, clear first. Okay, so you just insert the parameter in the array form. Okay, for this one, recall back your chapter 2. Okay, and then use the formula. Okay, so you will get directly the answer. So basically, how to do the formula is you look at this equation. So V is equals to 1 divided by, 1 divided by 2. For this case, is 1 divided by 2, not 12. I think the formula is 12, but no need to worry about the formula. Okay, so it should be 12. Okay, and then multiply by, remember, constant in chapter 2. So pi, you just write pi, automatically it will assume it is as 3.142. Okay, and multiply by bracket d. Okay, remember, when you want to do this, d needs to be array operation, you have to put dot. Okay, and don't forget the multiplication, because you can see here, this one is not a scalar. Okay, because you have array here. Okay, it will become array, so you have to put dot multiply hash. Okay, so that is how you convert this equation into the MATLAB coding. So you get the answer. It should be 12 for this case. It should be 12. Okay, check back the formula, of course, but no need to worry. Okay, the formula is not the important one, because this is programming class. You just need to use the formula to convert it into the MATLAB coding. Okay, so how about complex number? Okay, so I already show you how to use a normal number. Okay, now we move on to the complex number. So you can see here, you have A is this one. Okay, if you copy this into MATLAB, it will create 4. Okay, remember, this is space, this is new line. Okay, so 1 plus 1i, this one, and then this one 2 plus 2i, and 3 plus 3i, 4 plus 4i. So if you transpose here, okay, this is metric transpose. Make sure you know the difference. Metric transpose, you can see here, it will flip here. Let me draw this. Okay, you can see here, all these become negative. Okay, remember, transpose become negative, and it will flip at diagonal. Okay, so you can see here, this one will flip here and this one will flip here. So that is metric transpose. This is metric. Okay, let me. Okay, this is metric operation. Okay, metric transpose. There is no dot. But if you do array transpose, which has dot here, okay, array transpose only flip. Okay, you can see here, this is the same, but this one will be flip. Okay, that is the difference. For metric, you have to flip and as well as change it to negative. Change the imaginary part to negative, but this one is just flip. So make sure you know the difference for complex metrics and transpose metric and transpose array from complex number. Okay, so this is some drill. I will show you, but for now we take a break. Okay. Okay. Open up your phone and slide in your attendance. Okay, we take a break 5 minutes and we will continue at 2:30. Okay, we continue. Can somebody respond to me whether you can hear me or not?
Yes, okay, yes.
Okay. So you have any problem for the topic before? Any problem? Okay, you have to do this manually, Okay.
How to recognize vector or array or matrix?
Metric or array. So for this case, okay. Wait. Okay, remember that I said the difference is dot. Okay. So if you want to know whether it is array operation or metric operation, you have to look at this, whether it has dot or not. Okay. Or you ask how to determine the problem is suitable for metric or array operation. Is that the question?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. So for metric operation, this one is basically your previously you have learned metric, right? Metric operation.
Yes,
Okay. So if you want to solve any metric problem, okay, metric problem, you have to use this operation. But for array operation, usually in the coding, okay, any problem, usually we use array operation. Is if you have multiple variable, so you can see here in metric, you can see that the calculation is direct to the point. Okay, so it's always direct to the point. But in the array operation, you can see you can solve problem. Okay, so if you have any calculation problem with multiple value, usually we will use array operation. Okay. But for this case, it doesn't matter because this one is scalar. Okay, scalar value multiply with multiple array. So no need to worry for this. But others, you always need to use array. Okay, usually always if you have a problem with multiple value to change, always use array. Okay, is that answer your question?
yes, okay. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Okay, so we continue with some example here. Okay, so for coding, I think no need to worry because you can just copy it. Okay, just let me clear this first. Always clear your workspace. Okay, so A is equals to 2, B is equals to 2 and 4, and C is equals to 7 for semicolon 1, 3. Okay. So I think for the first one is simple. 2, okay. 2 plus 2 minus 3 is just 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay. Always do from left to right. Okay. So always start from left and end to right. Okay. How about the second one? So second one, 2 plus A plus 2 multiplied by 3. So remember the both mass. Okay, let me clear this first. So remember the formula T BODMAS. Okay, C. Okay, so when you have for this case multiplication, summation and division multiplication has the same precedence, so no need to worry. So you can see a plus and minus, it has the same precedence. But for this case, you can see here 2 plus 2 multiplied by 3. So this has higher precedence. Okay. So you can see here, this is higher, this is lower. So you have to solve this one. So when you want to do this, okay, make sure you do one by one. Okay, if you don't do one by one, okay, you will be assumed you cheat in your test or exam because you just copy it in the MATLAB. So make sure you don't just copy it. You have to do one by one. So for this case, 2 plus 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. So 2 4, and 8. Okay. So if you do, for example, plus 2 multiplied by 3, you automatically get 8. So this one consider cheat, okay, in test. So make sure to show the way. Okay. How about the third one? So for the third one is 2 multiplied by 2 power of 3 plus 2. Okay. So remember the both mass. Okay, you can see here you have power of. So this is highest. Okay. So you have to solve this first. So of course, do one by one. So 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3 is 8 plus 2. So 2 multiplied by 8 because multiplication has higher precedence than plus. So 16 and then plus 2 and 18. Okay. So make sure you do like that. Okay. It has the same precedence. You just left to right. But if don't have same precedence, make sure you use the both mass. Okay. So you have complete the third one. How about the fourth one? Okay, A plus B. So for this case, A is 2 plus 2, 4. Okay. So for this case, remember scalar and vector, you just plus for each one. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay. So clear? Okay. How about B multiplied by C? So this one is metric operation. You can see that there is no dot. So 2, 4 multiplied by 7, 1, 4, 3. Okay, make sure you recall back how to do metric for this class. Okay, this one you have to do it yourself. So 2, 7 plus 4, 1. And then 2, 4 plus 4, 3. Okay, so this is the metric operation. So 14 plus 18, okay. 14 plus 4 is 18. And 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. 12, 8 is 20. Okay. So if you want to check your answer correct or not, just copy this. Okay, you get the answer. So C transpose. So you can see here, this is a metric transpose. Okay. So there is no complex number, so no need to worry. So C is transpose, remember, the diagonal will maintain, but the others needs to flip. Okay. So let us look at the answer. C transpose. Okay. So the answer is the same. Okay. I think B is also simple. Okay, B is simple. Okay, how about this one? So let us look at example B. Example 8 to 4. And then you plus A is 2 divided by 2 plus 2. Okay. So what you have to do first? Okay. So remember the both mass. B T both mass. T both mass C. Okay. So any transpose? There is no transpose. Okay. How about bracket? No bracket. This is not bracket. This is not bracket. Okay. This is square bracket. So this one is the curve bracket. This one. not the square bracket. Okay, make sure to be careful with that. Okay, power of is also no. Division multiplication, yeah, you have division multiplication. So you have to solve this first. So 2, 4, okay, plus 2 divided by 2 is 1 plus 2. Okay, so now multi addition and subtraction. So now the rest is only addition and subtraction. So how to do this? So I suggest you just you have to do from left to right. Okay, you have to show that you do this from left to right. So plus 1 is 3, 5 plus 2, and then 5 and 7. So let us look at the answer. Okay, if this happen, you have to change the transpose. Oh, there is transpose, right? I don't see there. Okay, so this one, okay, this one is wrong. Okay, so all of this is wrong. So for this case, I forget the transpose here. It should be 2, 4. Okay, you have to do transpose first. Okay, remember, transpose first. Then for this case, you get 3 and 5, and then 5 and 7. Okay. So be careful with the transpose. Transpose symbol is quite small, so sometimes you can miss the transpose symbol. Okay. How about the next question? So this one I think is simple. No need to worry. Or I think you need to worry for this also. Okay. So if this happen, you can see here. So this is a trick question. C. Oh, for this one is simple. Okay, no need to worry. But be careful with B. B bar by B. Okay, so this one is trick question. You can see here. B bar is 2, 4 multiplied by 2, 4. Okay. So for this case is 2 multiplied by 1 and 1 multiplied by 2. Okay, for this case, oh yeah, it can be done. Okay, so Z can be done. Okay, you have to recall back your metric learning. So B bar by B. Okay, so it can be done. Okay, how about next? Okay, this one is tricky because you have semicolon. So let me clear this first. Okay, wait, it hang. Okay, so when it comes to semicolon, remember T, both must and C. Okay, so you have A is 2, okay, plus 1 dot A power of 3, okay, divided by 2. Okay, so transpose, you have any transpose? So no transpose. Bracket, you have any bracket? No bracket. Power of, you have power. So you have to solve the power first. So equals to 2 plus 1 dot power of is 8 divided by 2. So division, multiplication, you have that. So you can see here 2 plus 1. This one is division. Okay, so 4. And then summation and A and S, additional and subtraction. So 3.4. So the answer will be 3, 4. Never just left the column. Okay, you have to change it to metric. So is that correct? So let me check. Okay, the answer is correct. So how about the next example here? Okay, you also have to practice together with me. Make sure you familiarize with this operation. So number 11. So A is 2 plus bracket 1 dot A power of 3. Okay, so this is 2. Okay, divide by 2. So of course you have to show one by one. I suggest you write both mass, T both mass. All. Okay, so you don't have any transpose, but you have bracket. So you have to solve the bracket first. So solve the bracket. You can see here you have colon and power off. So you have to solve power off first. So 2 plus 1 dot 2 over 3 is 8. Okay, divide by 2. So after that, you have to solve the bracket. 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divided by 2. So of course, after you solve the bracket, you have to solve the DM, division multiplication. So 2 plus 0 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. Okay, so and then the last one is plus. So 2.5, don't forget the square bracket. Okay, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Okay, so that is the answer. So get answer. You also can look here. Oh, okay, answer. So something like this. Okay. So any problem so far about the precedence? No problem. Okay. So we proceed with the next one. Okay, let me clear this first. Okay, where is the clear? Okay. So how about number 12? Okay, this one is also a bit tricky. So 2 dot in bracket 2 plus 1. Okay. Multiply by C. 7413. Okay. So how to solve this? Okay. This one is quite tricky. Okay. So of course, write both mass, both mass, C anywhere. Okay. I suggest don't write in your answer sheet. Okay. This one is just the method how to memorize. No need to show this method inside your test. Okay. So of course, transpose no bracket, you have bracket, so you have to solve the bracket first. And of course, in bracket, you have colon and summation. So summation has the highest precedence. So for this case, 2 and 3. And of course, you have to show one by one. Okay, if not, it is considered as cheating. So 2, 3, okay. Because bracket, you have to solve the bracket first. 7, 1, 4, 3. So for this case, Okay, let me check. So this one is metric operation. So here you have to do the long operation here. So 27 plus 31 and 24 3 3. Don't forget the square bracket and 17 8 9 13, right? Okay. So copy this. So something wrong here. So 3 2 4 8 plus 3 3 9. Oh, 9 8. 9 8 is 17. Okay. Okay. So next C to A. So let me clear this first. So C is 7413. Power of 2. Power of 2. Okay. Power of 2 and power of 2. Okay. So of course, you have to look at the board mass. Okay. T board mass. So you don't have transpose, you don't have bracket. Of course, this one is not bracket. This is a square bracket. But you have power. So when you have power, you have to solve the power first. So you have two power. You have to solve from left first. So basically, for metric operation, okay. So 7 1 4 3 7 1 4 3. Okay. So power of 2. So solve this first. 49 and 4 16. Okay. So below here is 17 plus 3 4 12, and then 7 plus 12, and then 1 plus 9. Okay. So you have the power of 2. Okay. So for this case, you solve this first, and then, okay, this one is 50. Wait. Okay, it's quite difficult actually. So I need some calculator. 49 plus 16 is 65. Okay. So 65, this one is, okay, I think you have to solve the right first. Okay, this one is quite tricky. Okay, let me just check the answer first. Okay, 64. Okay, so maybe for this one, you can try to solve it first. You can try to solve it on your own. Okay, all of this. Okay, so this one become much more complicated. And remember, this is the we call the array operation. So array operation is much more simpler. Okay, you just direct calculation. Okay, but for metric, you can see here, it will be tedious, okay? But for metric, array operation is much more easy. And don't forget about the board mass. Okay, and for this one, make sure you know how to transpose for complex number, okay? And for array and metric operation, make sure you know the difference. Okay, so we have completed the arithmetic operation drill, okay? So we take 5-minute break, okay? And we will continue with Boolean operation. So make sure in your free time, you try the rest of the exercise. Okay, especially this one is quite difficult because you have, this one, because you have a very complicated metric here. Okay, and you can just check the answer, just copy it and make sure you have A, B, C, you have already set it up and you get the answer. Okay. So let it takes a break. Okay, we will start back at 3:05. Okay, we continue with the last part of this chapter. Okay, can somebody respond to me whether you hear me or not? Is the screen moving?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all okay. Okay, so we continue with the Boolean operation. So for those who don't know, Boolean is basically digital. Okay, so 1 and 0. So true and false, 1 and 0. So true is 1, false is 0. Okay, so Boolean expression. So you have two types of Boolean operation. Okay, either it is a relational operation or logical operation. Okay, so what is relational and logical? So you can see here the relational operation is basically less than, more than, or equals to, not equals to, greater than or equal to. Okay, so make sure you know the difference. So for equals, make sure you have to put double. Okay, so you have to put double. So less than, standard, less than or equals to, I think you also know. Not equals to, you have to use the waving, something like waving. It's basically under the escape button near the 1 number. Okay, so make sure you know where it is located and make sure you use equals. Okay, so the logical, of course, this one, I think you already take digital, right? So you have to know what is and, or, and not. So for calculation, you only use 1, okay? And only 1, this is only 1, this is only 1. But this one is for, chapter 4, okay? Okay, easy to say, this one is just for chapter 4. No need to worry for this, okay? Just focus on this. Okay, so this is the difference between relational operator and logical operator. And how about the precedence? Okay, for precedence, okay, it's also almost the same as before. So because this is the same thing, but you have to add more things. Okay, so before this, I show you T-bones, D-mass. Okay, so both T-bone mass. Okay, but this one, it is much more complete. So n, you have to put n, not. Okay, so not equal is different from not. Okay, so not equal is conditional, relational. Okay, means that you have two parameter here, the first parameter, the second parameter. But not is just one parameter, so that is the difference. You have to make sure you know the difference between not equal to and not. I will show you after this, but make sure you memorize this. T-bone, okay. So before this is board mass, BODMAS, and then I show you T board mass, C, and now this is much more higher power, I think. So basically, I think okay, this one is actually okay, a little bit different. Okay, this one I'm not sure yet. Okay. Some say it is T both mass, but some say it's both bond mass. So for this case, I think no need to worry yet. Okay, I will tell you whether which one is true. Okay, so try to memorize this. B bracket first, and then power of. Okay, and transpose. Sorry, this one not here, is here. Okay. So bracket first, okay, and then the power of, and then the transpose also consider as the same label, okay, and then not, and then division, multiplication, same level. You have to solve it left to right first, okay, and then this one also same level, left to right first, okay. You have to solve left to right, and then colon. After colon, relational. Okay, relational is this one, less than or more than or equals to, and so on. And then and or. Okay. So if you have and or not, you use this one. Okay. Oh, sorry. And or you have to solve this last. Not is the higher one. Okay. So make sure you know the difference. Okay. So I repeat again. Make sure you memorize this. Okay, and of course, this is the basic one, logic, value, true and false. So I hope you know the truth table. Okay. Can someone answer to me whether you already take digital or not? Can someone?
Yes. Yes, betul.
Yes, betul.
Okay, so I don't need to explain this, eh? You already know about this, eh? Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just proceed with the next one. Okay, the relational operator. Okay. So A is 5, B is 10. So C is A more than B. Okay. When it comes to relational operator or logical operator, the answer will be always logical. Okay, logical value 1 or 0. Okay, so it will not produce 3, 4, 5 or negative value. It always produce 1 and 0, and the type of data is logical. Okay, so if you can see here, 5 is more than 10. It's wrong. So automatically it will become 0. So let me copy this. Okay, so you can see here it's logical. The data is not double. So before this, the data is double, right? But the answer right now, you can see here. Sorry, this one. Okay, it's logical. It's not double anymore. Okay. So that is important thing you need to know. Okay. Next is you have multiple parameter. So if you have multiple array, okay, this one is scalar. Scalar, no need to worry. But for vector or array, so if you have something like this, okay, A is less than 4. So basically it will check all of these conditions. So is 1 is less than 4? Correct. So it will become 1. Is 4 is less than 4? No, because 4 is basically equals to 4. Unless this one is less than or equals to, it is correct. But if just less than, it is wrong. And then 5 is less than 4. It's also wrong. 2 also less than 4 is correct. So make sure you know how to do this. Okay. So how about this? D is B less than or equal to A. Okay. So B is less than or equals to A. So 4 less than or equals to 1 is wrong. So this is wrong. So 0, and then same here. 4 is equals to 4. 4 is equal less than or equals to 4. So this is true. Okay. So this one 4 is less than 5. Okay, correct. And 4 is less than 2. Wrong. Okay. So that is how you solve this. Okay, make sure you know how to write in the MATLAB, as well as you need to know how to solve this in manual way. So how about this? Okay, so I think you know the OR operation. Okay, so OR operation. So this one, 0 to 1. Okay, this one is OR. Okay, recall back here. If you want to use OR, you use this. This one at the top of enter. Okay, between enter and backspace. Okay, focus on this first. Okay, this one chapter 4. No need to worry yet. Okay, so you can use this to solve OR operation. So you can see here 0, 1 is 1, 0, 0 is 0, 1, 1 is 1, 0, 1 is 1, 1, 0 is 1. Okay, this is how you solve array. Okay. So how about example this one? Okay, you have a metric here. This one is a vector. Now it's an array. Okay, so you have A is an array. So this is AND operation. Okay, so when you use this, okay, let me. Okay, coding, I think you can just look at this, no problem. But the problem comes when you want to do this manually. So you have A is 1, 5, 4, 2. Okay, and okay, 0 to 4, 0. Okay. For this case, you have to do this one by one. Okay. So B is A and B. Okay. So 1 and 0 is 1. Oh, sorry. Because this is N, it should be 0. Okay. 4 and 0. What is 4 and 0? So 4, anything that is not 0 is 1. Okay. So 0 is equals to 0. Anything else, negative, positive, is always 1. So 1 and 1 is 1. Okay. For this case, 1 is 1. 1 and 1 is 1. And 2 and 0 is 0. So something like this. Okay. And remember, the output of this always logical. Okay. You cannot have a number other than 0 and 1. Okay. When you do the logical operation, okay, Boolean operation, always the output always logic. Okay. But if you combine multiple operation, that one I will show you later. Okay. So make sure you understand this first. Okay, now we move on to the next example here. So you can see here you have two parameters here. Okay, and this is operational, and this is okay also operation relational. Okay, it's called relational. This one. Okay, when you have two relational, this one and this one, you have to solve the left side first. Okay, so let me show you the manual way. I think automatic way, you just copy this. Okay, make sure you know how to use the symbol. So this is not equal. We clear this first. Okay. So you have, when you have same precedence, always start from left. So C is equals to, what is A is 165, and then more than B is 345, and not equals to 5. Okay, of course you have to show one by one. Okay. So for this case, 1 is more than 3 is wrong. Okay. So 6 more than 4 is correct. And 5 is more than 5 is wrong. Okay. and then not equals to 5. Okay, so based on this, you can see here you have to check one by one. See, okay, 0 is not equals to 1 is correct. 1 is not equals to 5 is 1. 0 is not equals to 5 is correct for 1. So that is how you solve this equation. So the next one is C is equals to A not equals to B, okay, more than 5. So A is 165. Okay. Not equals to B is 345 and more than 5. So of course, because this is the same precedence, okay, same level, okay, BO and BOT and the division multiplication S, okay, CRAO, okay. So make sure you follow this, okay. So because all of these are this one relational, okay, relational logical, I think I forget the name, okay. So make sure you check. So you can see here all are not equals to, so it is correct. It's all not equals. Oh, of course, the last one is the same. So this one is 0. And then it is all more than 5. So this one is wrong. So 0, 0, 0. Okay, so that is how you solve example 27. How about example 28? So of course, this one recall back the precedence. Okay, so what you call BOT and DMASCRAO. Okay, so for this case, okay, remember that N has highest precedence than O. So you have to solve 1 and 0 first. Okay, and then, okay, let me show you. A is equals to 1 and 0 or 0. So A is equals to, you have to solve this first. 1 and 0 is 0 or 0. A equals to 0. Show one by one. Okay, so the second one here, A is equal to 1 or 0 and 0. Remember the precedence of N is higher. So A is equals to 1 or, okay, 1 or 0 and 0 is 0. 1 or 0, A is equals to 0. Oh, sorry, 1. Okay. So that is how you solve the problem. So, okay, this one is the mixed operation. This one is a bit confusing. So for this case, of course, you have to follow this rule, okay? Follow this rule. So for this case, you can see here, you have N and rational. So you have to solve the rational first, and then you have to solve. Okay, so you have to solve the rational first, and then you have to solve the logical. Okay, the so B is equals to A is 1452927 less more than 2 and 1452927. Okay, less than 8. So B is equals to, you have to change this. You have to solve this first, the left side first. Okay, 1 is more than 2. No. 4 more than 2, yes. 5, 2, no. 9, 1, 2, no. 5, 7, 2 is 1. Okay, and then you have N. Okay, same here. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so of course after that you have to solve the n. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, there is something wrong here. Okay, 1, 1. Okay, so 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Okay, so that is how you solve this manually. So this is what happened when you have mixed operation. Okay, how about this one? Okay, this one is also important. Okay, so you can see here you have multiple operation. Instead of only logical, you also have a arithmetic operation. Okay, so when this happen, okay, let me make it larger. Okay, your answer always show the last operation execute. Okay, for this case, you can see here the bracket. Okay, so you have bracket, you have to solve the bracket first. After you the bracket, you have a minus or subtraction. So you have to solve inside here first and then the outside. Means that the last operation is the subtraction. So subtraction is automatically double. Okay, so automatically D will be double. But if you can see here C, okay, A or B minus 3. So when for this case, okay, remember subtraction is higher than or. So you have to solve B minus 3 first, okay, B minus 3, and then you have to solve A, okay. So the last operation is the logical operation. So the answer is logical, okay. So make sure you know this. Okay, I think no need to worry about this. This is simple, right? Or I will show you one, okay. So C is equals to 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 3, 2, 0, minus 3. So C, of course, remember the BON, okay, T, sorry, BOTN, BMAS, okay, CRAO, okay. So, of course, subtraction is higher than the OR, so you have to solve this first. So 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, and OR. So for this case, it is double, so negative 2, 0, negative 3, okay, negative 1, negative 3, okay. And then after this, C is equals to, remember 0 is always 0, okay, and other number will become 1. So 0, 1 is 0, 1 is 0, or right? So or is 1, 0 and 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is 1, and 1 is 1 is 1. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so B, you can try on your own. So next part is identify element. Okay, so if you have multiple element here, okay, you have multiple element and you want to identify whether the element is follow the logical value or not. So this is how to do this. Okay. So make sure you know the title, identify element using this one, metric. Okay. Identify element using rational operation. Sorry. Okay. So for example here, Randy, no need to worry. Randy is just stand for random integer. Integer is from 0 to, I think 0, sure whether 0 is taken or not. 0 to, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So that is integer. So basically, if you want to use Randy, so the first one is the highest value. For example, this one is 15. So basically 0 until 15. And 3 is the metric array size. So if 3 means that 3 multiplied by 3. Okay. So that is how to use Randy. No need to worry. But better you know this. Okay. So you can see here, B is equals to A less than 9. So when this happens, you will test everything. Okay. If less than 9 will come. If A less than 9. Okay. If, for example, 12 is less than 9, it will 0. Okay, if 6 is less than 9, it is 1. So it will become like this. And if you insert B, okay, the value 1 and 0 and 1 inside A, okay, so you will get all the value, okay, all the value that is less than 9. Okay, that is how you obtain this. So basically, to do this, to remove all the value that you don't want less than 9, okay? If you don't want something that is more than 9, yeah. So you can use this method. Okay, I hope you can understand this. So basically this one, 0 multiply 0, 0, and 0, and 6, and 1 is 1. So 10, 0, 0, okay? Make sure you know this. Okay, this one is actually chapter 2. Okay, you already learned this in chapter 2. Okay, how about this? Okay, so the same thing, if you have range, okay, so for this one, you want the value less than 9. How about you have range? Okay, you want number 4 until 11. Okay, so you do something like this. Okay, mixing relationship, mixing relational, okay, with logical. So if you want the number between 4 and 11, okay, so you have to do something like this. A is less than or equals to 4 and this one. So as long as these conditions are met, it will automatically extract all the number outside here. Okay, I think this one is wrong, lah. Okay, let me check first. I think this one is n. Okay. Okay, make sure you check this. I think I don't have time to check this for you. Okay, maybe you can try this. Okay, if you want the range inside here, this one should be n. Okay, you can try on your own using MATLAB. Okay, maybe I show you how to do this. Okay. Okay, you have A here, and then you have B here. Okay, and AB. So you can see here, this is actually wrong. Okay. So if you want the value outside, you have to use n. Okay. Oh, sorry, not n. You need to use or, but this one you have to change, I think. More than or less than, maybe. So cannot. Okay, maybe this one you can try again later. Okay. Okay. Okay, let us a 5-minute break. I will try to determine this one. Okay. Okay, we will continue back at 3:40. Okay. Okay, so maybe we should continue. Okay, the time is almost up and I need to finish this. Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, good. So you can see here, for this logic is basically this one is wrong. Make sure you change this. Okay. So you can see here a is less than 0, a is less than 4, and or more than 11. So this one is outside 4 to 11. So this logic is not correct for this one. If you want to find the number between this, you have to use this. Okay, so a is more than 4 and less than 11. So this one you have to use your logical to find the answer. So after you get the index, the logic, so you just place it in the indexing of the A and you get the answer. Okay, so that's it for Boolean. And for this case, okay, this is drill. I think we don't have enough time to do this. So make sure you check, okay, you practice here. Okay, for this case, okay, 3 less than 3 is more than 2 is 1. Okay, logic, correct. Correct. Okay. So of course, -4 is less than or equals to -3, correct. So this one is wrong, is 0. 2 is not equals to 2, is wrong. So 0. So 3 is equals to 3, correct, is 1. So for this case, make sure you remember the level here, the precedence. Okay. So more than, not equals to, so this one is the same precedence. So you solve left to right. So this one, of course, same also, left to right, same precedence. So this one mix, okay? You have precedence and n. So you have to solve this one and this one first and then n. For this case also, operational, rational first, relational first, this one and this one and then this one first and then this one and then or. Okay, so for this case, same here. Okay, and for this case you have or and n, so you have to solve n first. Remember, n has higher value than or. Okay, so this is not. Okay, when you have not, okay, not is just this one. Okay, this is not equal. Okay, this is not equal, this is not. Okay, so make sure you know the difference because not needs to be solved first. Okay, for this case you have to solve the left to right, but for this case you have to solve the not first. Okay, so same here. You have to solve the power off first. Okay, okay, the power off, and then you have to solve the not first, the not second, and then rational. No, minus, I think. Okay, so this is a good practice to test your knowledge on the precedence. Okay, the question is precedence. Make sure you know how to do the to use the precedence. Okay, that's it. Any question before I end the class? Hello.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay. So make sure you slide in your attendance. Okay. That's it. Okay. So thank you. So I will see you next Tuesday. Okay, on Wednesday. With the new topic.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.